So hello everyone, welcome here to round number 5 of the 2015A NASA RallyCross Challenge season, the Lakewood RallyCross Grand Prix from the NASA Proving Ground South Course here in Lakewood, Colorado. As it's Josh Mertz bringing you the call for the Automotive Sports Network today. As you see the cars on screen, rounding around for the seeding round. So while they will get lined up, we'll go through today's race format. Before round 1 is the seeding round, which is basically everyone makes one single hot lap around this track. Whoever's fastest gets in the first heat, etc. You'll see it on through the race. Then we go on to round 1 of the heats. 3 heats today for 4 laps apiece. There are 13 cars. The top 2 in each heat will advance automatically through to the final. The others will go to the LCQ. And you have to take the Joker once. The last chance qualifier is 3 laps. The top 2 from that race will advance to the final. The rest are awarded points 9th through 11th, excuse the 13 car graphic there, 9th through 11th, and the Joker must be taken once, and the final will be 8 drivers for 8 laps, and you have to take the Joker twice. As the cars here lined up in the grid, as this track is changed from, I think, 3 or 4 seasons ago was the last time the NASA Rallycross contingent made the trek to Lakewood, Colorado. And fastest in practice was technically Josh Mertz, but there was a rule infringement from car number 1, and he has been forbidden from participating in seeding and the heat. So you will see car number 1 in the LCQ. So technically, heat number 1 is 4 cars with him as the 4th, but you want to get really technical, it's a 3-car heat. He doesn't exist in the heats. So here's Tanner Smith inheriting the first seed in seeding in car number 13. Starting his lap as you go down the long straightaway and up this huge banked corner. See, there's from the camera way off in the distance, the banked corner, down the hill and into the dirt right-hander, or left-hander, excuse me. Then into these dirt right-handers, which is a bit tricky, as he will come around the Joker here. That jump is the regular course here at the Proving Grounds. Around the corner, and finishing his lap in car number 13 is Tanner Smith. And starting his lap is Mertz's teammate Tristan Hagenstein in car number 2. And I believe Dylan Smith has also started. No, it's Adam Sweet. Excuse me there. So Hagenstein in the sister Subaru. The 3-time Constructors Champions as Adam Sweet completed his lap at the 35.768. Hagenstein will come around at a 35.725, so second fastest for the Dutchman. That's the first group of cars as we go out in groups of 3 here. And here's Dylan Smith in car number 3 in the junior Subaru. His first race for the team back was Canada last week, and he finished 3rd on re-debut for the team. He's been racing for this team about 3 times. And the site of his first win was right to the north here, as there's the 2 courses. We're not using the north course this season. We're only using the south course, and his first win was at that course. Remember, he got his 2nd win in Valkenswaard, beating out his then-rival Mertz in car number 1. As Dylan Smith rounds the Joker in car number 3 to complete his lap in seeding. Let's see what he will do. 35.239, so fastest for the German, and it looks like Wetz has taken the regular course that will disallow his time in the manufacturer Mitsubishi. And here's Livingood, quadruple champion in car number 51. Let's see what he can do as he slides it into the landing ramp, so that will ruin his lap, as Wetz's time has been disallowed as he was not supposed to take the jump. Livingood crosses the line, 37.463, slowest of all the cars in seeding so far. As Group 3 now entering the track, it will be Brandon Nicholson, Arnold Columbia, and Steve Rada making his first start of the season. So the Revolution Autosport Rockstar Pina Colada Mitsubishi, as the Revolution Autosport team is now on Michelin tires. They were on Yokohama's for the first several rounds of the season. Nicholson starts his lap. Columbia will cross the start-finish line and start his lap, and Steve Rada will exit the grid and start his lap in car number 199. As here comes Nicholson over the double apex dirt jump extravaganza, you could call it, as there's really no accurate way to describe that, as he gets onto the Joker, the 2014A Privateer Drivers Champion. attempting to try and get another one this season, but Bellamy has a huge points lead, and Bellamy is actually in the officials' tower for this race as Columbia smashes into the landing ramp, and upside down he goes. He is turtled, and his lap will be invalidated, so that's 3 cars not running a lap. Bellamy's in the officials' tower this race, but he will get points for 12th as Rada does the same thing, but luckily he lands on the wheels of the Boost Mobile Subaru for Big Evil Racing, and he's able to keep it going. And the final car in seating is Casey Lester in what is supposed to be the Area 52 Development's Volkswagen, but I believe Erdmann sold him this car, and he is racing under the Lester Racing banner. So he will be the 8th and final car to complete a lap, as 2 flipped, and Mertz's penalty will count to 11, technically 12 with Bellamy. But like I mentioned, he is in the officials' tower in race control, so he will not be racing. He will get 12th place points, however, for the Drivers' Championship. As he did practice, and at the last second he said, I'm just going to be in race control for this race. So Lester rounding the Joker here, and in his private Volkswagen will come across the start-finish line to complete seating at a 37.533. As let us go through the seating results here before we go on board with Dylan Smith to give you the onboard lap of this intense circuit. It's Dylan Smith, Tanner Smith, Tristan Hagenstein, Adam Sweet, Livingood, Lester, Nicholson, and Rada, the cars that took times. A 10-second difference between the top 8. Then it's Wetz, Columbia, and Mertz as your seating round here today. As we will go on board with car number 3, Dylan Smith, as you can ride along and simply listen to the sounds of the Subaru. Sorry for those issues there regarding Dylan Smith, as our replay system picked the wrong lap, and a transponder issue with car number 3, as we are getting ready to go for heat number 1 here today, as the car is rounding this relatively simple course. And when I say relatively simple, that's kind of true, but yet kind of not. So Tanner Smith, Dylan Smith will be on pole. Then I believe it will be Arnold Columbia, but Chris Wetz is on track for I don't know what reason. I think they forgot that Mertz is technically supposed to be in this heat. So Wetz got on track. So we're going to have to wait a moment here and fix the gridding process, as this is how the grid is supposed to look. It's supposed to be Dylan Smith, Arnold Columbia, and Tanner Smith. There they go, getting ready and gridded up, as they're actually gridded in the wrong spot. They're supposed to be gridded back on the left side of the screen where the grass meets the dirt, not at the right side near the Joker. But race control, Bellamy and race control said it's fine, let's deal with it for this heat, as we're getting ready for the first heat today here in the NASA Proving Grounds South Course. As it used to be, the grid was on top of the hill in turn 1. You might have saw the old grid spots. Now it's like a motocross start. You go all the way down the front straightaway and barrel into turn 1. And we saw the cars get up to top speed heading into that corner, and it gets pretty crazy. Revving them up, it's lights out, and away we go, and off the line for the first heat. Here in the Proving Grounds, it's going to be Tanner Smith and Dylan Smith battling it out between each other, as Arnold Columbia in the manufacturer Ford having issues. Into the dirt corner, Smith hits Smith. That's going to be ridiculous to say. Dylan hit Tanner. Dylan stopped. No visit to the penalty box for car number 3, but this is going to allow Arnold Columbia to sneak out to a lead in the manufacturer Ford, as the Canadian, with a Norwegian and a German behind him, heading this field, as this team, this Great Lakes Motorsports team, has still worked on its development. Over the jump for the first time goes Columbia and Smith, so does Dylan Smith, and Dylan Smith sliding it in car number 3 as that jump, you hit it and the back end gets kicked up. It happened all the way through practice. Race Control did nothing about it, so we'll see what happens. Race Control told everyone to deal with it because it's the same for everyone. So it's just a matter of strategy, and at the end of lap 1, Tanner Smith leads in car number 13. Now Dylan has a bit of ground to make up here if he wants to catch Tanner, as Arnold Columbia, we hate to sound mean, but that Ford program is still being developed. You would figure they got the Mango Lemon stuff. I think they had a few of their old cars, but they're starting to work on their own stuff, and it's not really up to scratch yet. As Columbia takes to the Joker in car number 39, he will lead at the end of lap number 2 as crossed flags are being shown here in Lakewood. Tanner Smith in second, Dylan Smith in third, and this battle's getting good, as I don't believe Dylan has taken, I don't believe Tanner has taken his Joker yet. So this will get good between these two. I don't think either of them have taken their Joker yet. I believe they're going to reverse their strategy, as I'm hearing over the radio, Mertz is telling Dylan, do the opposite of what Tanner does. So Tanner goes to the jump, Dylan Smith will go to the Joker, and we'll see the true split between these two laps, as Dylan Smith rounds the Joker to start the final lap here in heat number 1. Can he hold off Tanner Smith in car number 13? The battle is for the bonus point. These two are championship contenders, you can say, a lot farther down on Mertz than normal. But anything can happen here in the Proving Grounds, especially with Mertz not participating in the heat race. He's got 3 laps to get through to the final. Over the jump goes Dylan Smith in car number 3. Columbia will have to take it to the jump as well. So we're going to see what happens here with Tanner Smith. He takes it to the Joker in car number 13. Will he come out in front of Dylan Smith? Where is Dylan? There he is! Tanner goes underneath to the outside! At the line, it's going to be Tanner winning heat number 1 by a bumper over Dylan Smith in car number 3. As that shows you the true difference in the lap time here. Let's go back and take a look, as we had a bit of a camera issue there. Apologize for that. But go back and look. We're going to show you from the helicopter here of Dylan Smith. As Tanner looked to the inside, he swooped to the outside. There he is. He looks, goes to the outside. Dylan doesn't block, and at the line, that is the gap. A bumper between the two. And that is the difference between a bonus point and no bonus point. As that's a great way to start the race here today. As heat number 2 drivers now on track. There's Adam Sweet, there's Tristan Hagenstein, Chris Wetz, and Steve Rada are the 4 cars that'll be in this heat as everyone starts to grid up. Your grid for heat number 2, it's going to be Tristan Hagenstein, Chris Wetz, Adam Sweet, and Steve Rada for another 4-lap race here. 2 Subarus, a Mitsubishi, and a Ford getting ready to duke it out, and this race should be equally as exciting. As launch control is being set, everyone being lined up. You see, that's the proper place to grid. Heat 1 was ahead of that, as it gives them a little bit more time to get going and makes the start even more chaotic. As top speed rally cars going into a huge dirt corner is incredibly exciting. Getting ready to go for heat number 2 here in Lakewood, and it's lights out and away we go. And off the line, it's going to be Hagenstein getting the jump over Wetz and Sweet, as Rada will hang back in car number 199. And starting the first lap at the line, Hagenstein, Wetz, Sweet, Rada into turn 1. It looks like Wetz and Sweet were two-car tandeming like a NASCAR style as they went into turn one. Sweet ran it wide and got passed by Rada. He tries the inside now, going down the hill as he holds the spot from the American. As the two manufacturer cars break away from the two privateers, Hagenstein goes wide. Wetz went a little bit, so does Sweet. Who will go to the jump? It's going to be Hagenstein, Wetz, Sweet, and Rada. Everybody goes to the jump, and landing for the first time, Sweet spins it, but nobody else does. As through the penultimate corner into the final corner, and to begin lap number 2, it's Tristan Hagenstein in car number 2 who leads over Chris Wetz. As remember, the only time Wetz was in championship contention when we came to this track, he did not race, as he had to get relieved by his teammate as around is Hagenstein in car number 2. Very strange spot for the car to spin, as we fully expected everyone to spin off the jump, as it looks like Adam Sweet has parked the car in car number 48. So I believe this is going to be down to Wetz and Rada now, as over the jump. Will Wetz spin? No. Will Rada spin? No. But he slides it. Hagenstein over the jump in car number 2, as he does not either. Ending lap number 2, crossed flags for Chris Wetz, as we now have 3 cars left. As there's your laps, 43.8, 43.8. Surprisingly, that was with Hagenstein spinning. And then Rada 45.1. So Hagenstein's got some ground to make up if he wants to get through to the final here. Coming to the white flag. As over the jump goes Wetz. Over the jump goes Rada. Wetz spins it in car number 71. Rada passes him. Where's Hagenstein? Hagenstein takes it to the Joker, but he locked it up heavily, and I don't think that'll help him. Through the Joker, he beats Rada, nearly clips the nose off the Subaru. White flag. Can he hold off Rada or Wetz, as I don't believe either of them had taken their Joker yet. 37.4, fastest man on track, but because he took his Joker, that might have hurt him also because of the massive lockup that he had in that Red Bull Subaru. As word around the paddock is, the Red Bull contract might be expiring after this race. Don't know why, as he goes over the jump. Rada goes to the Joker, so does Wetz. Where will this put Hagenstein? Hagenstein slow, he had to put the car into gear. He's nowhere close, and Steve Rada will win heat number 2, followed by Wetz in car number 71, and Hagenstein has to take it to the LCQ as the Subaru gearbox took itself out of gear, and Hagenstein parks up, and he is furious inside that Subaru. As he hit the ground, it somehow knocked itself out of gear, which is really strange, and he misses the final transfer spot. And we hate to sound like this heat's over, but it's already over. You've got the Privateer champion, the Privateer runner-up from 2014A, and the quadruple champion. All that matters here is the transfer spot. As the Revolution Junior, car of Dylan Livengood will be on pole for heat number 3. Then it's Brandon Nicholson and Casey Lester. So the battle will be between Nicholson and Lester, as Livengood can go cruise away with a bonus point. And that's what he needs if he wants to catch Mertz in car number 81. Like I was saying, though, the Red Bull contract might be gone for the Subaru team. Unknown why, but we'll try and figure that out. Getting ready to go for heat number 3. Revving them up, as they were, and then they stopped. Here we go again. Revving them up, getting ready to go for heat number 3, and it's lights out, and away we go. And off the line, Livengood gets a bad start, and it's going to be Brandon Nicholson with the whole shot as we begin lap number 1 here at the Proving Grounds. Livengood second, Lester third, into turn 1. Will Nicholson budge for his four-time champion teammate? No, he won't, but he ran it wide. Livengood sneaks through, and it's a battle between the two privateers as Lester and Nicholson side by side. Lester spinning it in car number 50, and that might seal it already for Nicholson. As over the jump, for the first time, we'll go Living Good and Nicholson. Let's see what Lester will do, but he's nowhere close to his decision point. Around somewhat is Nicholson in car number 37. As let's find Lester here. He goes over the jump and lands it perfectly. So at the end of lap 1, Living Good leads in car number 51, followed by Nicholson, who has slid it out of the final corner, and then it's Casey Lester. So let's see here what will this battle come to between the two privateers. Nicholson currently has the transfer spot in the Michelin-shod Rockstar Pina Colada Mitsubishi Lancer. And the Hoosier-shod Miller Fortune Mitsubishi Lancer of Dylan Livingood will take to the jump once again in car number 51. As he is cruising away while his junior or his privateer teammate and another privateer battle as Lester hits Nicholson. That turned him more than 90 degrees, and that will be a visit to the penalty box for car number 50. 2 laps to go for Livingood. And let's see if Lester can get to the penalty box in car number 50. It's at the end of the pit lane where that cone is. You might have been wondering what that cone is there for. That is the penalty box. He is nowhere close, potentially having steering issues. He waits for Nicholson to go by, and penalty box for car number 50, stop and go penalty. So that probably has sealed it. I know I said that when Lester spun, but to be that far back and they already took their jokers, that probably did seal it. As Livingood is around in car number 51, that should not hurt him because he's got such a huge advantage over the other 2 cars. As Nicholson over the jump in car number 37, he spins it as well. Let's see what Lester will do. Will Lester spin it in car number 50? No. White flag for Livingood in car number 51. He has had this heat under control here at the Proving Grounds. As Nicholson takes the final lap, so does Lester. As Livingood rounds the double apex dirt jump corner and will take it peacefully to the joker in car number 51. As the 2 privateers are battling, it is going to be Livingood who wins heat number 3 uncontested compared to the other 2 privateers. And the battle is for the transfer spot between these 2. And they go to the joker. Lester dives it in and slams into Nicholson. Lester stops and lets Nicholson through and take the transfer spot. That is a show of sportsmanship by Casey Lester. Transferring as Nicholson to the LCQ goes Lester. And this is the race that everyone probably would have been waiting for if you're a Josh Mertz fan, because it's his 3-lap dash to try and make it into the final, and there he is for the first time today in the Red Bull Subaru Impreza. His teammate Hagenstein is in this race. Adam Sweet is in this race. Then it's Columbia and Lester. So who knows what will happen. As everyone gets gridded up. That's not the right grid. That's the right grid. But that's the second row from last week. There you go. The grid for the LCQ today, it's going to be Hagenstein on pole, Columbia second, Sweet third, Lester fourth, and by his penalty, Mertz has last gate choice on the back row of the grid. There's only one row, realistically, so he gets to choose who he wants to be behind. So that is your grid as we're waiting for Casey Lester. So getting ready to go for the 3-lap LCQ to decide the final 2 spots where Lester is in the final. Revving them up. It's going to be 3 laps. This should be chaotic, and it's lights out, and away we go. And off the line, it's going to be Hagenstein and Lester taking the fight as Mertz got by Columbia, and he's going to try and get by Sweet. Sweet throws a block on car number 1, and into corner number 1 for the first time. It's Lester, Hagenstein, Mertz, Sweet, Columbia. Around the first corner, Lester will probably let car number 1 through as he lets the gas off a little bit, and cars 2 and 1 through to first and second. Sweet battling with Columbia, and spinning is Adam Sweet in car number 48. Now what will happen? Over the jump, Hagenstein and Mertz lands on his teammate, but passes him in the jump. Then it's Hagenstein, Lester slides it, so does Columbia, as Sweet takes it to the Joker in car number 48. So Mertz will lead as Sweet gets close and bump drafts car number 1, and 2 laps to go in the LCQ. Through the dirt right-hander for the second time, it's Mertz, Sweet, Hagenstein, Lester, Columbia. Through the left-hander. Over the double apex dirt jump corner. And to the jump. For the second time, it looks like Mertz and Sweet will take it. Hagenstein does as well. Over the jump, Mertz is around and so is Sweet. So the top 2 in the LCQ and the 3-time champion points leader are around in the LCQ. What a development, and I think this might seal the fate for them, those two, as crossing the start-finish line to take the white flag is Hagenstein, Lester. Mertz now on the outside looking in. Columbia 4th, Sweet 5th. As Mertz has yet to take his Joker, I think Lester and Hagenstein have to take it as well. So unless he can pull something out of the hat, or if something will happen to Casey Lester, the defending champion will miss the final again. For 2 seasons in a row as he's a champion. He missed it in Valgenswaard 2014A, but that was because of a gearbox issue. And now, the top 3 take to the Joker. Sweet does not. That's going to seal it. Hagenstein will transfer. Casey Lester transfers. Mertz is out. The championship leader is out of the final as Columbia finishes 4th. 10th place points to him. And 11th place points to Adam Sweet in car number 48. As what a race. Let's go back actually and take a look at what happened between the 48 and the 80, the 1, excuse me. Almost called him the 81. As that was really strange. As they both took to the jump. Let's put it in slow motion here. It's gonna be fast, full speed here. And then as he takes to the jump, we are going to knock it down to 1/4 of the speed. Over the jump, you'll see it perfectly here. He lands, back wheels hit, back wheels hop. He counter steers, so does Sweet, and both of them are off the track. So the former teammates both have issues here, and it makes them miss the final, and this will tighten up the points lead. Mertz had a 13-point lead coming into this race. It's not going to be 13 points anymore, but Tanner Smith and Livengood are breathing a sigh of relief as they are able to claw points back on the 3-time champion as he has been gone from the rest of the field this season. So we are Mertzless in round number 5 of the NASA Rallycross Challenge in 2015A. The grid getting formed up here. Let's go through the grid. That's row number 2. Here's row number 1. As everyone gets ready and lined up. So, on pole will be Tanner Smith in car number 13. Then it's Steve Rada, Dylan Livengood, and Tristan Hagenstein. Then it is Dylan Smith, Chris Wetz, Brandon Nicholson, and Casey Lester for your 8-car final here at the Proving Grounds. So Mertz is out of the final here. So the hope lies on Tristan Hagenstein to hold that team in the Constructors' Championship because both Revolution cars are in this. There's the Revolution Junior car, 1 Subaru Junior car, 1 main Subaru getting ready to go for round number 5, and it's lights out and away we go. And off the line, it's going to be Livengood and Tanner Smith battling with the 2 Subarus side by side. Then it's Lester in 5th. Starting lap number 1 of 8. It's going to be into corner number 1. Livengood, Tanner Smith, Dylan Smith, Hagenstein. Then it's Rada get by Lester. Watts gets by both of them. And then it's Nicholson in 8th. Down the hill for the first time. It's Smith, Livengood. Hagenstein hits his teammate and over to Dylan Smith goes in car number 3. As around is Hagenstein in car number 2. Around is Lester, who hits Rada. This should be a red flag now that I think about it, as that's more than half the field, but no red flag is being called as the Revolution Junior and Revolution Racing Mitsubishis will round the Joker for the first time and end lap number 1. And it's Livingood who leads, followed by his teammate, as they are out and away from Steve Rada in car number 199. So now these two can race for themselves, as fourth place is Dylan Smith after barrel rolling in car number 3. Very surprising that that car still runs, as he flipped it about 6 times. Over the jump for the first time of the dirt corner jump thing. That sounds really professional, but I don't know what to call it. Into the Joker for the second time. Over the jump goes Smith, and plowing it into the landing ramp is Livingood. So that will not help him, and I don't think that Joker is even going to help him. Let's see if he can stay out ahead of his teammates. No. Yes, he can, actually. Excuse me, the error. He barely stays out in front of his teammate. Smith second, Rada third, Smith fourth. Around is Wetz in car number 71. Around is Lester. Around is Hagenstein, excuse me, off the back bumper, or the front bumper at Nicholson. You can tell this race is hard to follow. And Livingood, Smith, Rada, Dylan Smith, Wetz, Lester, Hagenstein, Nicholson, and I believe Nicholson will have to take it to the penalty box in car number 37. Over the jump on lap number 3 for his first time. It's going to be Livingood, and he spins it in car number 51. Will Tanner spin it as well? No. So that is going to make things interesting. Let's see if Rada and Smith will spin it. I don't think they will. No, no spins for those two, as Livingood takes lap number 4. Wetz over the jump. Does not spin it, as this is a main focal point of this race. The jump is the main issue here. Everyone has been complaining all race long. Hagenstein does not spin. Lester takes it to the Joker, and I think Nicholson did take it to the penalty box, but he's about to be put a lap down by Dylan Livingood. As over the jump, Nicholson spins it as well, as Livingood will take to the jump again. So we're Tanner Smith on lap number 4, and I think Nicholson has broke something on the landing because the car on timing and scoring is listed as parked. Tanner Smith takes to the inside on his teammate. Livingood shoots to the outside. Side by side in the final corner are the teammates, as they are battling for the race lead and possibly the win, as cross flags are being shown. As they're still side by side. On the outside, Tanner Smith. Inside, Dylan Livingood. They both have yet to get a win this season, as the winners are Wetz, Smith, and Mertz. As Tanner and Livingood battling for the championship, second and third in points. As Tanner pulling away from Dylan Livingood in car number 51. Over the jump. Tanner does not spin, nor does Livingood, but he's sliding it. No, he does spin in car number 51, and that will probably seal the race victory's fate for him as to not getting it, because that, I believe, is his second spin in the final. 2 to go. There's the right graphic. 3 to go, excuse me, for Tanner Smith. Livingood still in second. Dylan Smith third. Wetz took to the Joker in fourth. Fifth, Hagenstein. Sixth, Rada. Seventh is Casey Lester. So Tanner Smith, I believe, might have this in his hand, although Dylan Smith is relatively close, and I think he has both of his Jokers, and he hasn't spun yet. So if he doesn't spin, that jump of his will compensate for his loss of time, and that will help him possibly get a race victory in the Junior Subaru. As the top 3 take to the jump, so does Wetz. Hagenstein will as well, I believe. Yes, he does. Tanner Smith takes 2 to go in car number 13. Hagenstein does not spin either. And these two privateers battling for the 6th spot, Rada and Lester, they both take to the jump in car number 50 and car number 199, and they don't spin either. I'm really impressed by Steve Rada in his first start this season with the car control of that 199 Boost Mobile Subaru. As Dylan Smith, I believe, did take his first Joker because he's battling hard with Livingood. And this could potentially get good. Tanner has spun again in car number 13. To the Joker goes Dylan Smith in car number 3. He either took his first Joker or Livingood has spun, but now he has cycled into the race lead on the white flag. Wetz is now in second. Tanner has dropped to third. Fourth is Livingood. Fifth, Hagenstein. Sixth is Rada. Seventh is Lester. So the young German, who was battling with his then rival, Josh Mertz in Valgenswaard, is now racing for his title rival and trying to bring home his second victory this season and his third of his career, as this is going to be an easy win as he takes to the Joker. Wetz has to take to the jump. Tanner Smith follows him, but there's nothing he can do. Victory for Dylan Smith as he wins it in the South Proving Grounds. Second is Tanner Smith. Third will be Chris Wetz, so manufacturer points-wise, a 1-2 finish again for Revolution Racing. Fourth place will be Tristan Hagenstein, pipping Living Good. Fifth will be Living Good. Sixth place, it looks as though, will be, where is Lester at? There is Rada. This will be a battle. This is for sixth. Lester comes off the Joker to the inside of Rada, and at the line, sixth place to Lester, seventh to Rada. And here he is, Dylan Smith. His second career win, and his third career win, and his second this season. The official results. It's the Smith Show. Dylan versus Tanner. He wins over Tanner Smith. Chris Wetz third. Hagenstein fourth. Living Good fifth. Casey Lester sixth. Steve Rada seventh. Eighth is Nicholson. And best of the rest, ninth Josh Mertz, 10th Adam Sweet, and 11th Arnold Columbia. And while we look at this, first place in manufacturer points is Tanner Smith. Second Wetz. Third Hagenstein. Fourth Living Good. Fifth Mertz. And sixth is Arnold Columbia. The Drivers' Championship is tightened up. 81 points for Josh Mertz in the points lead. Still holds it, but it's a much slimmer margin than usual. Tanner Smith, 77, hops to second. Dylan Living Good in third with 73. Dylan Smith really close now, only 9 points back with 72. Chris Wetz, 63. Tristan Hagenstein, 62. Bellamy, a provisional in car number 125, finishes 12th, technically 47 points to him. Nicholson with 39, Adam Sweet 26, and Cody Erdman, who has not appeared since Croft, is 10th with 19 points. The Constructors' Championship with the 2 consecutive 1-2 finishes, Revolution Racing has jumped up over MRT 157 to 154. Revolution Junior 95, Area 52 has not had a car since Island Rally. They have 68, and Great Lakes Motorsports has 49 in the Manufacturers' Championship with Subaru's, I think that's third win of the season, there. They have 94 over Mitsubishi's 89, Volkswagen 49, and Ford has 22. So that was an action-packed race here at the NASA Proving Grounds South Course here in Lakewood, Colorado. It's a quick drive over to Canyon City for the Negus RallyCross Grand Prix in a week's time, so I hope to see you there. But congratulations to Dylan Smith and the MRT Junior team, as we'll see you next week from Negus. But until then, so long, everyone.